Hi, welcome back to another Level 1 Tables, Equations and Graphs video. We are using linear functions to solve some problems. Right, we've got two problems to solve today, two examples, and straight into example one. A plumber charges $45 per hour plus a one-off travelling fee of $50. Now in a previous video we showed you how to take the sentence and produce a straight line graph. The charge is on the y-axis, how much the plumber he or she charges, and on the x-axis we have the number of hours. Right, here's the first question for example one. How much will the plumber charge for 2.5 hours of work, 2.5 hours of work? Well, one way to solve it would be just to estimate. On the x-axis, we work out where 2.5 is, we race it up to hit the graph and then race it across to the y-axis, and you can see it looks to be just a little bit over 160. So we could estimate, but that's just a guessing game, and I'm going to show you a much more proper way of doing it, the actual way of doing it, so we can get the exact answer. Right, we know the formula y is equal to mx plus c for straight line graphs, and we can replace m for 45 and c for 50 because m is the gradient, which is $45 for every 1 hour. So we rise 45 and run 1 hour, and c is 50. That's where the graph crosses over the y-axis. And remember, I'm just going to replace y with c for charge and x with h for hours. Right, well now it's just a substitution. We're just going to take h equal to 2.5 and substitute it into h. So the charge is equal to 45 times 2.5 plus the 50. So grab your calculator or your brain and go 45 times 2.5 plus the 50 and get 162.5. Now because this is to do with money, we're going to say $162.50. So you can see up here it was slightly above 160, but we know the exact answer is $162.50. Right, let's move on to example 2. It's the same problem, but a different question. Here's the question now. If the plumber charged $200, how many hours did they work? So if he or she charged $200, how long did they work for? Well, once again, you could take 200 on the charge on the y-axis and race across to hit the graph and then drop it down to the x-axis and estimate it would be somewhere between 3 and 4 hours, closer to 3. But again, this is only a guess, and I'm going to show you the correct way to work out the exact answer. Now we've already worked out that the charge is equal to 45 times h plus 50. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 200, which is the charge, how much they've charged us, and replace that or substitute that in for c. So we're going to have a statement which says 200 is equal to 45h plus 50. Now this is just an algebra equation that we have to solve and work out for h to work out how many hours they worked. Now if you're a bit rusty on the algebra or haven't done it in a little while, let's see if I can help you solve this. First of all, I'm going to write the 45h plus 50 on the left. I'm going to put the things that have got the letter, which is the h on the left, and I'm going to put the 200 on the right. So I've just swapped those two things around. We're allowed to do that. Now I'm going to take 50 off both sides of the equal sign. Remember the way I like to teach it, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other, and I'm subtracting 50 off both sides to get rid of that plus 50. So the plus 50 and minus 50 cancel, leaving just the 45 times h. And on the other side, 200 minus 50 is 150. So I've got 45 times h is equal to 150. I'm going to divide both sides by 45 because I have 45 times h, and I want to get rid of a times by dividing. So I divide both sides by 45. The 45's cancel, just leaving h. And now it's got to work out what 150 divided by 45 is. Grab my calculator, 150 divided 45 is 3.33333 recurring, which is 3 1/3. So you could write the answer down as h is equal to 3.33 hours and maybe round it to something like 2 decimal places. Or you might, if you want to, write it as 3 1/3 hours. So the plumber worked for 3 1/3 hours to charge us $200. Now again, if you tried to estimate 3 1/3 on the graph, it's going to be really hard to estimate exactly 3 1/3. Right, well those are two different types of problems you may come across in this assessment. So thanks very much for watching.